Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a TEG game. It is the lower bracket semi-finals, a repeat of the first round in the upper bracket, Dadless versus Apollo. I am just going to send both team reps an invite. Of course, we can't look over the fact that these teams have drastically changed since these two last played. Of course, Apollo getting rid, well, not getting rid, dropping Liqua and picking up SMWDX, whereas Dadless lost Cobra Rosen, I believe Juxi as well, and also Ares or Farmer Colin. Of course, losing your two IGLs is not going to be a great thing to happen. As usual, we're probably going to end up waiting for teams to join. I will run once we get people join in the game, of course. So, this is bound to be a great one. We only have one repeated map from when these two teams last played each other, which was Apollo's pick, which is slightly ironic considering they lost 7-1 on this map when they last played. I will just load up Twitch on my phone so I can monitor chat. But thank you all for joining. As Skyfaller joins, he will probably, well, I know what side he should be joining on. We are not doing Oregon. Our first map is actually Coastline. So now that I've given that away, I might as well run through the maps, map bans, map picks, and all that good stuff. So, map bans. Dadless banned first. They banned Theme Park. Apollo banned Consulate. Dadless picked Coastline and Apollo picked Clubhouse. Then Oregon and Cafe were banned. And the decider is Villa. So, with Dadless picking Coastline, Apollo got to pick their first starting side. They picked Attack, with Dadless picking Attack in overtime. Then Clubhouse was Apollo's pick, so that means that Dadless could pick the side, and interestingly enough, they chose to start Clubhouse on Attack, and so obviously Apollo decided to defend that in overtime. Villa the decider, as Apollo had the last ban and banned Cafe. Dadless picked to attack and Apollo picked to defend overtime. So we've got the Dadless team loading up now. Of course, new additions, Pasna fairly new as well. Obviously, they also, I'm trying to think who else Dadless lost. They lost Godzak or Anoxiate as his other gamer taggers. He's gone to the King's Creed. Cobra went to Venga Boys, who the winner of this game will play. And I can't remember where Ares has gone, so apologies for that. I don't think that Dadless know that they are defending first, so let me just send a message to Jamal. Because they are defending first. Actually, you know, it doesn't matter. I'll just arrange the sides once everyone joins. Leon has joined. I'm not sure who the last plays, probably Manny, as it is Coastline, and when Manny plays it means Blackbeard's going to be played, of course. Apollo, however, have not joined. I could probably guess that the Apollo lineup they are bringing is going to be El Goat, Noticed, I Hit and Miss, J, and SMWDX. Whereas I wasn't 100% sure on the lineup that Dadless were going to bring. Jay got booted, finally joined, so Apollo have into the server. As I said, this is a best of 3. Trick saying I beat these Dadless guys in rank last 9, easy peasy. Well, not really much to say there. So it is. So if you weren't there for when these two teams last played, which was the first round of the Third Eye Gaming playoffs, the maps were Clubhouse, Oregon, and Cafe was the decider. And Clubhouse, Dadless won 7-1. Oregon, Apollo won 7-3 or 7-4, 7-4, and then Cafe was won by Dadless 8-7, and it was won by an Echo drone placement. So the best way to win. So interviews, of course, as this is a league game. If Apollo win, we will have an interview with Jay. And if Dadless win, we'll have an interview with Skyfaller. So we are waiting on one Dadless player, which is probably Manny, and then the last two Apollo players, which probably Noticed and El Goats. Course, always some players that don't join. So if we look at the bracket, as there's not much I can really talk about now, as I said multiple times, this is a repeat of the first upper bracket round, and Dadless won 2-1. The winner of this will play the Venga Boys, who were the team to knock Dadless into. So I've got a message from Jamal. He's doing the interview. Okay. So we have an interview with Jamal if Dadless win. So Manny spreading lies. So, what was I going to say? Of course, the winner of this plays Venga Boys. The Venga Boys were the team that knocked Dadless into the lower bracket playoffs. And Venga Boys were knocked out by the current only final team we have, which is JPC. Who, in my opinion, they had the element of surprise, so to speak, as I think, as they've said multiple times, they haven't had the toughest competition. So, I'm not saying that it was a fluke win or anything. I'm just saying that there was a slight benefit of not having many usable VODs, where in all the interviews they've said they're saving strats. And then definitely knocking the Venga Boys into lower bracket is not something you may have expected. So it's bound to be an exciting final, which of course will be a best of 5 next weekend or the weekend after, I believe. Don't quote me on that. Not the best with dates. So we're waiting for Manny and probably El Goats. And then as soon as they join, everybody readies up, we can begin. So, as I said, first map Coastline, especially as Manny's playing, I'm expecting a Blackbeard ban. He is, of course, well renowned on his Blackbeard skill, so to see that banned, as well as Coastline anyway, you see him banned usually as well. You may see a Capital ban, you may see a Nomad ban, although Capital hasn't been banned as of recent. Nomad is a usual ban here. Defense bans, you may see Echo, you may see Maestro, you may see Mirror to basically make Penthouse unplayable, or more unplayable than it is normally. So we'll have to see with that. Of course, these have the rule sets we are using skin wise is Face It rules, so no elites or anything like that. Only Pro League skins, pilot program skins are allowed. So as I said, we're waiting on the last two players. And I think this game is very much one that could go the distance. However, if you look at the changes both teams have made, I think Apollo have come off much better than Dadless have. Dadless losing 2 IGLs, and they also lost Juxi as well as Godzak. However, Apollo only lost Liqua for SMWDX, which reunites the two former urban players of SMWD and Noticed. So a bit of previous synergy there, and still we wait for the last two players. But yeah, if you're playing in TEG or you enjoyed the game, make sure you do drop a follow to stay notified, as we have this and 2 other games left in the playoffs. I'm running out of things to talk about, as you can probably tell, because it has been a while. Thank you all for watching. I hope we do have a good game or a washout for either team. That's never fun to watch. We saw them at 1 and 2 last time these two teams played. If I could get my pronunciation right, as Elgoats is indeed the 5th for Apollo, and we're just waiting on Manny, most likely. As I'm not really sure who Dadless have on their roster other than Manny at the moment, because they lost 4 players. So we'll have to see about that. Of course, feel free to say who do you think will win in chat. If we can keep chat fairly clean enough that I can read it without having to think about what I'm saying, that'd be very, very nice. As been messaged by Jamal. The 5th is not receiving invites. Okay, so it's not Manny not turning up, it's Manny not being able to actually be invited. So that is why we currently do not have every player in the lobby. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dylan. I've casted multiple TEG games, however, haven't had the chance to cast the playoff games since JPC won 7-0 and 7-1 against Infamy back in the first round. A mixture of illness and not being available doesn't help things, but I'm glad that I can come back and cast the rematch of Dadless versus Apollo, but Dadless are very much looking like a Dadless 2.0, with, if Manny being the last one, only 3 remaining Dadless players from the start. Okay, I've got to invite the last person. The last player is Marcus, who was on the Apollo team that ended up coming second to IG in the finals of TEG Season 1. Let me actually check how to spell it. Okay, I'm assuming this is the right Marcus. Okay, so if we think about, as Marcus is now joining, I didn't know he was on Dadless. Jay got booted, or Jaxwa, or Jason is the only remaining Apollo player who played in that best of 5 finals, which was a 3-1 defeat to the eventual champions IG. Of course, the other 4 players were Marcus, Rabbit, Kickswa, and Liqua. Liqua, of course, recently being dropped in favour of 4 SMWDX. As who has left now? Pasna has. Not really sure what the current hold up is, so I'm assuming Manny is going to be map 2 then. There is still some confusion on getting the last player to join. So now we know the entire... Oh, sorry, I hit my mic. God's like saying, what happened to Abrupt? They didn't make it out of groups. They were never in the playoffs. It was Synapse and Apollo that made it out of Group A. Hey, sorry for the hold up, everybody. Apparently he's not getting invites for anyone. That is unfortunate, so to speak. Javel saying no Liqua. Liqua's been dropped from Apollo, or he's left Apollo. They picked up SMWDX instead. So, breaking that synergy, because Liquid's been there for... He was on that team for quite a while. So to lose that synergy, it's... Oh, because it's saying, I mean, Marcus and... Okay, I see, confirming that. Not too sure then. Oh, Marcus is playing as an emergency sub for map number 1 as Manny's not able to get home. So that's the clear up. Yeah, Javel, Liquid got on that roster. SMWDX is instead. So apparently Marcus isn't getting invites from anyone, which is never great. So he is restarting Xbox as Pazner confirms. Once again, apologies for the hold up. However, I appreciate you all for sticking around as we're bound to hopefully have a good game, but with two different rosters from before when these teams last played, it's potentially going to be a different one. Jamor just says the Marcus doesn't play for Abrupt anymore. Okay, so surprise, Marcus has left Abrupt. I'm trying to think about the last time I've seen these two teams play that I have a comparable team to play against is they both played Urban in scrims. So they both lost those scrims as well. However, across those were scrims. It's not going to determine your skills as a team, as you're just there to practice strats. Plus, Red ran Monty for 3 rounds, so you've got to. Yeah, that is a big GN moment there for Abrupt, as they just find out that Marcus has left to join Dadless. Manny asking who's the fifth. It's Marcus, formerly of Abrupt it seems, and formerly of Apollo as well. So that means we'd only have 2 of the Dadless players that played when these two teams last played, only being Jamor and Skyfaller. Skyfaller asking Manny why he isn't playing, so good to see good team communication before. Well, hopefully he rejoins, because we got 6 minutes left until the timer runs out. Jamal saying Dadless very unorganised, I agree. So as soon as Marcus is able to get an invite, we'll be able to start, and then we'll have to say goodbye to all the players in chat, of course. Feel free to put in chat who you think is going to win. And that's always an interesting thing, because that is always an interesting thing, because it's nice to see the warped opinions of some people. But I think with the recent changes, it definitely favours Apollo. They're in a much stronger position synergy-wise, as potentially Dadless is. Of course, Pazna and Leon are both... Leon isn't new, as Cobra corrected me when they played Urban in the scrim. Pazna is fairly new, and Marcus, of course, an emergency sub. It's not going to be as much synergy as you've got between Jay, I Hit and Miss, Notice, and El Goat. And of course, even though SMWDX is new, she has played on a team with Notice, both playing on Urban. So there is some synergy at least as we approach the 5-minute mark before we can actually start. As I appreciate you all once again for sticking around, even though we were supposed to start about 10 minutes ago. Well, I've run out of things to say. Because I did not expect to be waiting for around 20 minutes to from starting screen to getting into map number 1. As I said, Coastline, an interesting pick from Dadless. They definitely suit the more aggressive play style. However, they did lose it against Venga, and they also lost it against Urban. That's the 2 most recent times I've seen them play it. Clubhouse, which was Apollo's pick, they lost 7-1 to old Dadless on it when they first played. I haven't seen them play it for since. That might just be me anyway. And of course, Villa, the decider. I haven't seen Dadless play Villa. I have. It was old Dadless playing against old Urban. They won 7-3, and then Urban won 7-5 against Apollo on Villa. So should be a close game, all things considered. However, the fact that Dadless have a lot less synergy, it could swing in Apollo's favour. I would really like it if Marcus could join, because we've got 3 minutes left until we've wasted, till it's been the entire 30 minutes of me setting up this custom. I usually set it up 5 minutes before I start the stream, so I don't have to set that up before. However, with Marcus having a lot of technical difficulties, it seems we may be here a while. Okay, I'm just going to ask for an update. We might be having issues for so long that Manny's actually going to get back in time. So then the sub won't be needed. However, as much as I think everybody... Oh, he's joined. There we go. Everyone's readied up. Perfect timing. As soon as I send that message. Right, map number 1 is underway. So, coastline operator bands it is. So, what am I going to expect to see from Dadless? Possibly in Nomad. We may see a Blackbeard. Manny not playing is definitely going to help that. It's actually going to be an Ash. So, I hit and miss being target banned to start things off. He is, of course, the entry fragger for Apollo. So, it's not a massive surprise to see him target banned immediately. Okay, so operator ban number 2 is going to be Monty. Of course, I completely forgot to talk about Monty, and with the majority of the hallways being indestructible on the top floor, it means he's so incredibly strong. And especially as there's only 2 floors, he's only really affected by C4s in Hooker and Penthouse and Aqua. So he's incredibly strong. Ella is going to be banned here. I want to say that's a target ban, because she's not often banned at all. And yeah, I'm expecting that to be a target ban. If we're continuing the trend of target banning poor old I hit and miss, we'll probably see something like a Vigil Jaeger. But it's going to be a Legion, so SMWDX is going to get target banned. Legion is very annoying. Even though he doesn't have that initial damage anymore, he should still be good. Juxie sent Ashban is common from Dadless, to be fair. Okay. Only it's common, but I hit and miss is a bit of an Ash main, as we see him having to go onto the IQ. We are going to see Kitchen first. Typically your second sight. As we actually see a Twitch. And the reason I'm a bit surprised by that is I'm assuming that's going to be sick bit, of course, with Leon on the Mozzie. The reason I'm surprised with that is, actually it's not. It's because of all the nerfs to Twitch, and of course the introduction of Mozzie, and with Thatcher in play, she's just not as great, so to speak. She's not as good as she once was, as we actually see Skyfaller go from mute to mute.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
So notice is going to be on that black bin. I'm expecting to see a fairly standard setup. Marcus reinforcing the wall next to rotate. We are going to see this triple wall all reinforced. And we'll probably see a few of these, if not all of them, this quad wall reinforced as well. Marcus is just going to electrify those. That makes sense. You don't want the open. Having no hard breacher being brought as it looks like Apollo are focusing mainly on roam clear. When you've got an aggressive team like Dadless, it makes sense to do that. Jamal is going to be on that Jaeger. I'm expecting him to be the main roamer. Marcus and Pazna are also good candidates to support him. Skyfaller, the resident, is probably going to do a great job on that. So it won't be a surprise to see him just chilling, probably by the rotate behind the bomb, as Pazna has thrown a cam out already and he's used all of them. That's C4 being ripped, that's fairly early, as I hit and miss as the opening shots of the round. He's just going to he's going to open that barricade, as I repeat the words, and Skyfall is actually going to be roaming. I've seen this setup before and he used it against Urban and he managed to clutch a 1v2 that was a 2v5 in favour of Dadless, so it's definitely in a strong position. Leon is in a dangerous position, especially if he gets drone out, but Jay got booted is going to be the one who's going to drone out Skyfall. He's going to see the mute with the shotgun SMWDX, using that F2 to her advantage. High RPM, almost 1,000 I believe, and she is going to flank behind the mute, as Pazna is the opening death thanks to I hit and miss. And is he in sight? He is, and that's the issue when you have a heavy roam game. Elgoats goes down, but I hit and miss finds a second onto Leon. Skyfaller then, after getting Elgoats, is retraded by that Blackbeard of Notice. That headshot shield very, very strong. Marcus goes down as well. It's all left up to Jamal. He's in a 1v4. I hit and miss is very low. Having Notice can probably go and plant he does. I hit and miss is taken down, but on 1 health you don't expect him to. He's sort of throwing himself in the way to delay, just so Notice can cement this round win. Very unlikely, less than 30 seconds, and Jamal's got to find 3 kills and plant. And defuse, I should say, and he's going to see that head. No, he's not. The prime player of Notice using that Blackbeard is going to pick up round number 1 for Apollo, using that head shield to his advantage. We're going to see Kitchen once again, and I won't be surprised if I see an identical lineup being brought from Apollo. I believe we do, as Pasnet goes onto the castle this time. Of course, with a heavy roam game, you risk losing site control very, very early on, as it's going to be a 6-pick to dot. With an aggressive player like I hit and miss, he's not afraid to take that site control when no one's on it. And that's exactly what he did. Walked in, found the opening kill.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
So players, if you're still in stream by any chance, make sure you leave. Of course, allegations of stream sniping are never fun, and we see a standard setup being made by Skyfaller, and this is looking very, very similar to what Dadless did before. Same rotation hole as well, same walls being reinforced the entire way around. Marcus is going to be roaming again. I expect them to do a similar thing, and yes, they do. Pazna is once again the lone player on site, and
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
once again he's got to be careful if I hit and miss decides to just take site control. However, Leon is nearby to try and refrag if needed. That is a shock drone coming to tase the dock. Of course, the tase is very much useless, and to lose that drone very early on is not good there for Apollo, as SMWDX on that twitch. And Skyfaller once again in a dangerous position. Beautiful flick headshot onto I hit and miss. The IQ is taken down before she can have too much of an impact. However, we see Marcus with the red dot. Elgoats and Jay got booted are all waiting on that mute. Skyfaller is very much in a difficult position. However, he's able to move away. However, does he know that SMWDX is right behind him? They don't see each other, but SMWDX finds him first and equalising it at 4-4. Going to use her second Twitch drone. Going to be using this long angle on that dock. That's why he's picked the dock. The ACOG's so very, very strong, especially on these long sight lines. And Marcus still above. He's looking for any cool vibes rotation, but I don't think Apollo are really bothered by it. And is Marcus going to risk dropping down the stairs? That would be risky because I believe SMWDX is watching that. Indeed she is. However, Marcus from above gets that kill onto Jay, got booted. The Jackal goes down, but noticed is still there on that Blackbeard to do what Blackbeard does best, and that is just face check absolutely everything. Jamora is stuck behind desk, and little does he know he's looking at the outline of the Blackbeard, but the Blackbeard is going to be spotted by the Bandit. However, Bandit doesn't find that kill. Jamor is going to refrag those. Elgoat's found Pasner in the meantime, and Elgoat's going to drop the plant as well. SMWDX and Elgoat's in a 2v1 post-plant situation. Jamor is very much left all on his own once again. He's going to see the gun... he's going to see the bullets, stream past, and he's just going to hold this position as they are getting ready for him to peek, and he's just going to pre-fire, not find anything at all. SMWX playing behind that bomb chassis, and Elgoats is going to rotate as well. Is he going to find him? Yes, he is. Apollo take round number 2. And what we saw there was once again a very methodical... I say very methodical. They walked in, took sunrise control, and of course, because it's such a heavy roam game, they could take site control fairly easily. Hats off to Skyler. He managed to get that opening pick, which was very, very important, as Hookah is going to be the next site, and Dadless is going to be trying to put a round on the board. So, sick pick from I Hit and Miss. Who is he going to go onto? It's going to be back onto the IQ, and SMWX going off the Twitch, bringing the Nomad, who is a much stronger operator on this map in my opinion. Of course we see, well, we all know that Coastline is the Call of Duty map of Siege. You run around, you gun, you just sit on roof and you cut off both rotates into the hooker site. So I expect one player to just sit up here. It might not be noticed. Looking at the lineup, it could be the Nomad. However, the Nomad is a much stronger operator, as I say, runouts galore, and the shape of this map is when you run out, you've got an acute angle, so you're very easily refragged if you get air jabbed. So that's what this aggressive lineup of Dadless need to be careful of, and Marcus going to be on the Wumai. We saw for this... Are we going to see what they did before against Venga? Reinforce the hatch, have the Wumai sit there, as we saw Juxie do it before. Have Marcus taking up that Wumai instead, and I don't think he is. He's just going to throw a magnet outside, and going to hope that it's not spotted. However, it manages to steal an air jab, and that is very, very good, as Notice gets the opening pick onto Pasner. Spawn peek did not work, my friend, and that Blackbeard is going to take him down fairly early. I missed that as I was praising the Wumai placement. I thought the attackers would have shot it out fairly early on, however, I guess not, as I Hit and Miss finds another one. The droning is going to keep on going. Crouch spam as he finds a double for this round, as he took down Marcus and Jamor, and it's now just left to the two people on site, which is Leon, and it's also Skyfaller, and Leon peeks, takes a lot of damage, doesn't do as much in return. But Skyfaller once again going to find frag as he's going to DX. I Hit and Miss is on a triple there as he finds the kill on to Leon. Skyfaller says no, and he's going to continue his reign of terror. However, he is ended by Elgoats, and Apollo 3-0 up after 3 rounds. They're going to be feeling good and riding this momentum. The ping came out, the wallbangers came through, and despite Skyfaller's best efforts, he could not win that one out. We are going to see Hookah once again. We know this is a more attacker-sided map compared to the others. However, 3-0 in 3 rounds is not quite as attacker-sided as I thought. It's going to be the same lineup being brought by the defenders, the attackers, sorry, as Pasner goes on to the vigil this time. Apologies for that, stream just froze. As we see Jamor and Skyfaller both bringing the SS shotgun. I expect to see Jamor playing by bomb chassis on that SMG-11.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
So this is your typical smoke position right by couch, and it's difficult to push him away. Let's have a look at the utility being brought by both teams. We've got 3 breaches, 2 claymores, 3 flashes and 2 smokes being brought from Apollo. And we've got 2 barbed wire, 2 proximities, 2 impacts, a C4 and a deployable shield being brought from the defenders. Proximities being brought by Marcus is an interesting one, as of course he has a deployable shield and that is often used a lot more. But that proximity going to help for anybody pushing in hooker, and that will help the Cool Vibes player get a pre-fire on the person planting default. Of course, the defaults for this site is exactly where this shotgun hole is. Great work from whichever SES operator that was. I think it was Jamor. And the other one is behind hookah couch. So the SS shotgun is a fairly subpar shotgun-wise. However, with the SMG-11, smoke and mute both become enforced. Of course, VIP, you don't want a nice long angle from Hall of Fame, so it's not a big surprise to see that reinforced. And we're actually going to see bottom floor roam clear first, and that's a good decision because, well, Marcus is down there and he is going to find that kill onto El Goats, but Pazner's down there as well, and he's the one who's just being constantly droning. I hit and miss is just going to be spraying, using up all of his ammo. Going to look for that. Well, my Vigil, down goes Pazner once again, and Leon takes a lot of damage, but deals damage to Notice. An annoying operator like Blackbeard, you'll take what you can get with him, as it looks like the fight was in that cute angle down below. And Nomad is just going to be doing what she does best, air jabs galore. Going to look for anybody running out Sunrise. Luckily, nobody will be, as Jay got booted. Is going to be pushing up those stairs. However, Marcus is there to meet him, and Notice got downed as well. And this is very, very dangerous for Apollo. Dadless looking like they may be able to take this one. However, of course, you can't underestimate the from Apollo, but that Blackbeard seems to know roughly where Marcus is. Marcus is going to find that kill to Notice. Is he going to find the refrag onto I hit and miss? He is not. The IQ player continues a kill streak with 7 kills at the moment. SMWDX, the newest addition, and I hit and miss. There's Jamor and Skyfaller, the 2 oldest members of Dadless on this current lineup that are playing, and also Leon, who is there. He's been there for a while, according to Cobra. Maybe he's not had as much playtime, and Jamor is just going to call out that cam position, and SMWDX is in a difficult position because now she definitely knows they know where she is, and that default was not shot earlier, and I hit and miss is in quite an aggressive spot. And how's he gotten this? How's he gotten here? That's the question. As Leon got down through the wall. Nice kill there from SMWDX, going to equal it out. However, with the smokes still up, you're going to be in a tough position. That smoke's going to cover Skyfaller's movement. However, these Apollo players are going to sneak around. They're going to look for Jamor. However, Skyfaller going to continue to do what he's done so well, and that Nomad is all that's left, and the SMG-11 cleans things up as Dadless finally take their first round. There's 4 rounds down and 3 for Apollo. The momentum has been ended by Dadless, so we'll see if they can build anything off of it. 3-3 or 4-2 is fairly average for the defenders on this map, so they're not going to settle for anything less. We're going to see Kitchen, 3rd time the charm, is what Dadless is going to be hoping for, and they're going to bring the same lineup they brought before. Apart from No One Mai, it's going to be a bandit played by Marcus instead. First look at seeing a gridlock being brought by SMWDX. She's the only one who's changed operators on this Apollo lineup. We saw her on Twitch for 2 rounds, we saw her on Nomad for 2 rounds, and now she's gone on to the Gridlock. Gridlock, a very strong operator on this map. Of course, with Coastline, rotations are everything, especially with that skylight. You can just have, you can just sit above and just watch any rotation, one into Aqua and one into this top 90 landing. And it's such a very strong position. So let's have a look at this defender setup. Is it going to be identical? We've already seen a difference. This rotation hole is now all the way at the top, and it's no longer a rotation hole, it's more line of sight. as that rotation has been made once again, and Jamal's going to be on the smoke for this one. We haven't seen the smoke being brought for this site. Smoke especially strong, of course, behind this bomb site. You can just throw your smokes in at default, and it is so very, very strong.
Attacker's objective is to defuse a bomb.
Okay, let's have a look. Apollo, where are they going to be pushing? It's probably going to be a similar office, sunrise, blue bar take.
A bomb has been located.
Apologies for that, had to deal with some admin stuff. Anyway, we see Skyfaller holding this position once again, and this time he's not going to be instantly pressured, and once again we don't see any top floor control, and Marcus and Pazna are allowed to just continue to do what they want. However, Elgoat's found a bullet onto the vigil there, and Skyfaller going to be pushing towards blue bar, it seems, or is he going to have second thoughts going to sunrise? He's going to sit in this corner once again. And this is looking like a kitchen push, as I Hit and Miss has been watching this angle the entire game. Or the entire round, sorry. So it's not surprised to see him continue. And SMWDX is going to rotate along with Elgoats and Jay got booted. And it's going to be very much a plant in service. The ADS is there, of course, going to take 2 of the smokes. However, with all 4 available, that's very strong. Pazna finally gets a kill. Can he find another one? He can't, as although he found Elgoats, Jay was there for the refrag and to protect SMWDX, who was rappelling upside down. And I Hit and Miss gets down, but Notice found one onto Jamal. Leon finishes off I Hit and Miss, however Notice finds another. This is very much a round that is Apollo's to lose, and the Black Bay are going to run away, and Marcus and Skyfall are very much trapped, and even though that C4 is going to go off, it's not going to find anything, and that plant from Jay got booted is going to come out, and nice shot there from Marcus, as Notice is going to be holding this angle. Marcus takes a little bit of damage as well, and we're going to have a look. Skyfaller takes damage, gets rid of a shield. Notice is going to have to be extra careful, and he takes Skyfaller even lower. The mute's got to be prone now, and he's got to switch to the shotgun, but with Jay got booted, finding one onto Marcus. Skyfaller's got to bring out the shotgun. He finds SMWDX. He's going to have to try and maneuver his way around. However, it's not going to work. The gridlocks are still there, and even though SMWDX died, her gridlocks finish off the last Dadless player, and Apollo take a 4th round now out of 5. So we're going to see Kitchen for the 4th time now, as Dadless are going to hope they can bring something different out. They are bringing the same lineup, as it probably worked a lot better, and Elgoats is going to sick pick onto Jack, as we finally see a Thermite and Thatcher, and Jay of course going back to his FBI operators, and SMWDX stepping onto the SAS duties.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
So we are probably going to see an identical setup, and it just seems that Dadless roams so heavy that Apollo can just not ignore it, but pay less attention to it, I should say. Jamal gets a bit of damage from an impact from Paz, and that's not great. And if we have a look at the utility being brought, we're going to see 3 claymores, so no rotations or runouts for Dadless, it seems, and we also see the 6 stuns, sorry, and that's going to be able to burn every ADS, but with no grenades after, you wonder if that is worth all these grenades, especially as Elgoats could have brought the smokes instead. And looking at the defenders, they've got 1 shield, 2 impacts, 2 C4s and 2 nitros, playing heavy for that plant denial, and I Hit and Miss is once again going to be looking at that kitchen window, going to help the Thermite of Jay into Sunrise. He's just going to be droned in immediately, and that is a ping onto the Jaeger of Leon miles away, so I Hit and Miss doesn't need to be concerned as of yet. And if we have a look, Once again, it's Jamor and Skyfaller who are playing on site. Marcus, Leon, and Pasner are roaming, and I hit and miss. He's looking for this vigil. And if we have a lot more gunfights going on from below, it seems Leon just having a lot of gunshot, a lot of guns. Ooh, I hit and miss, looked away at the wrong time there. Pasner makes the most of it, and Leon made the most of it as well, finding a kill onto El Goats. So they've lost the Jackal and the IQ, and that roam clear, well, it was a massive fail, as you've lost your two of your three Claymore places, and SMWDX is going to have to use her one in a limited position. Of course, we often see this hole be made, and we're going to see EMPs go out, and the ADS says thank you very much. And gotta say, this is not looking too great for Apollo. They're in a 3v5. They've got to get the plant down. They've lost any sort of roam clear they may have had. However, there was Skyfall and Marcus both all peeking the same thing, and although Jamor is nearby ready, that is an interesting camo, and Jay's going to get taken out by Leon, and Leon with the triple for the round. He finds SMWDX as well, and it's all left down to Notice. And while Leon may not have had the biggest of games so far, I should say, he's definitely coming alive this final round. Got a 3k for his team. The only one he didn't was Pasner getting that kill. I hit and miss. And it's all left up to Notice. The flex player, of course, he is a very, very good one at that. But even with all of his skill, I'm not sure he's going to be able to 1v5 the Dadless squad with about 30 seconds left on the clock. And now he's going to try and peek. But who's that peeking him? Is that Pasner? It's Skyfaller. And Skyfaller, whilst maybe suiciding a little bit, is going to gain enough valuable intel, and with the diffuser dropped in a precarious position, Notice is very much trapped here. He's going to have to run. He's going to go with the Deagle, and he's just going to wait this one out, most likely. He's going to sit on a drone. He's going to have to be careful for any flank. Beautiful kill onto Jamor. He's going to make a smiley face, of course. Pure content right there, and Dadless win on time. The first round that isn't won on frags, and Dadless finished their defensive half 4-2 down, and Apollo are going to be very happy with that going into defense. So we are going to see Kitchen for our first Apollo defensive site. Kitchen, of course, a very typically your second site, but as we can see, a lot of teams preferring to run that first. And let's have a look at the leaderboard. We are a sixth of the way through the maximum regular play. Apologies, I just had a drink. As we've seen everybody finding kills, and Notice top fragging for his team being Apollo's. I should actually go down so you can see the site in the background. He is going 9 and 2, KD of 4.5. He's going to be very happy with that. And I hit and miss also finding 7 kills, and it's just SMWDX, El Goats and Jay got booted, all with 3 kills. Whereas if we look at the side of Dadless, Skyfaller going 6 and 5. He's done work on that support, so he's not going to be disappointed in the slightest. Leon and Skyfaller both with 4 kills, pass number 2, and Jamor with 3. So let's have a look how this setup is different, shall we? And we already see a difference. Oryx, of course, he's a very strong operator, but with no Monty to be played, he's not going to have as much of an impact. However, with all these hatches, there is what, 1, 2, 3, 4 hatches to the floor above, which allows Notice to just run around if he so desires. However, it seems to be more of a comfort pick as no hatches have been popped. And that was a C4 from somewhere, and was that I hit and miss? It was. Wasted the C4 fairly early though, that's the issue, and doesn't matter though, as El Goats finds a kill onto Leon. That's from outside, a very good kill to get rid of that Zephyr, but I hit and miss, sorry. Also finds Jamor as well. The Thatcher and the Zephyr going down. Your efforts to burn ADSs is now very limited. Now all we've got left are 2 smokes, 3 flashes, and you aren't going to be able to burn them out. As Pazna and I hit and miss, having another bit of a fight now, and Jackal going to play more aggressive. Can he find those kills? Yes, he can, and nice shot there to get rid of the threat that is I hit and miss. However, it's still far from a Dadless round. They've got to find 4 with the 3 they have up, and Sunrise control heavily contested, and that is often a choke point of this map. And of course, it's going to be difficult, even more difficult when Pazna gets taken down by our goat. As I said, he only had 3 kills, however now he's definitely putting in the work, and he's going to look for Skyfaller, isn't he? And Skyfaller going to continue his reign of terror, and our goat is so very low and he gets taken down. Then Marcus also takes out Notice. So that was a 4v2, it's now a 2v2, and Skyfaller and Marcus versus J got booted and SMWDX. The Vigil and the Maestro are going to play against the Habana and the IQ, and they need to get site control, but luckily for them, Skyfaller, in all of his supportive duties, is carrying that diffuser. And they've got to be careful for Jay in blue bar, and somebody is looking for him, and it's going to be Marcus using the 522 Commando. We often see the G8 used more, and Jay got booted, going to be in a bit of a gunfight with Skyfaller. However, he just can't land the shots, and is SMW going to be able to help? That's the question. She is, and she's going to spray through that wall, and Skyfaller very lucky not to be hit by any of those bullets, and Marcus is also making his way nearby. Down goes Jay got booted. It's all left up to the Maestro. She will hope that she can find the crucial kills. They need to get the plant down as well, and can she find that kill? She can. Onto Marcus. SMWDX in a 1v1. Skyfaller gonna rush forward. The Alda gonna try and find that kill. However, it doesn't matter. She can wait and win on time, and Apollo take their defensive round first try, which is something Dadless can't say the same to. So we go to Hooker. I hit and miss. Was on the Vigil. He's gone onto the Moz, and Jay is actually continuing with his trend of playing FBI operators. He goes onto that Pulse, and Notice he's going to take up the Jaeger with Elgoats taking up the Bandit. We actually see our first Ying and Maverick being brought. Leon on that Maverick, passing it on that Ying. Potential rush plan. Thatcher Thermite, interesting choice. I'm trying to think what you're going to... I suppose they're gonna... Oh, apologies for that mic stutter. I suppose what they're gonna try and do is Thermite open this VIP wall and play the long angle with all the ACOGs they've got to force nobody to hold right by this doorway. But I suppose Apollo already know this, judging by the picks. Because of course this is the map you don't necessarily need a hard breach, and to bring a Maverick, Thatcher and Thermite, now that is commitment. Hibana is often the hard breach of choice for this map, and that's why it's quite surprising to not really see her played as much. But we did see her last round, but I believe that was the first time we actually saw her, as Jay was playing Thermite when he was playing a hard breacher, and this is a run up from I hit and miss, and I don't think anybody has spawned poolside. No, they haven't. It is a heavy push as soon as I found them. So it doesn't surprise me in the slightest he couldn't find anybody at all. Elgoats and the Jaeger of Notice going to regroup in Aqua. This is very much a choke point that the attackers do need to reach. And do these two defenders know that they're going to be the ones fighting a push? And that drone coming out from Pazna. I hit and miss. Gonna try and hide down here. That's a Candela, and that's not good if you're that Mozzie. He's gonna try and hide in the corner, but despite his best effort, C4 gets thrown out, doesn't find anybody, and Jay is very much in a significant amount of trouble as Notice takes some damage from somewhere as well. And Notice gets taken down by Skyfaller to go with it. And is that from
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
Need to check. I'm not too sure. And this pulse of Jay is now very much trapped. He probably knows it too. He's used the C4. There's no utility left. Algoats has used his as well, and he's going to be taken out by Leon as well. SMW probably not going to last long with everybody pushing her. However, Pasna gets taken out by the pulse, and ooh, Maestro flirting with death there, and that Sophia is looking for any sort of kill they can find. As Leon found Jay, but Jamor found SMWDX, and Dadless win this one out. So we go back to Hooker as Apollo try to have some success. The Elgoats is going to have to sick pick. Of course, Malusi and Ace are banned. And indeed he is. That was obviously a miss. It was obviously not a misclick. It was an unfortunate random pick because he hadn't picked an operator. He's going to be on the mute.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by
So 5-3 for Apollo. Dadless certainly aren't giving up without a fight, but their rounds are coming too far and few between. And if we keep going round to round, Apollo are going to win this one out 7-4. So they're going to need to bring some momentum together and try and get this to overtime.
bomb located by attackers.
We're going to see standard reinforcement as well.
Going up.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds left. Attackers are moving to defuse a bomb.
I hit and miss is once again going on this Mozzie. It wasn't very successful last time. So we'll see if he can actually have some success. Apologies for the slight gap there. Day got booted, once again going to be roaming on his favourite FBI operators. Once again on this pulse, and where are the attackers? It's looking like it's going to be an aqua pusher once again, but now C4s need to be used scarcely, I mean to say. Spectator glitch means I don't get to see the fight with Leon, and I hit and miss. As although the Mozzie found one, being Jamor, Leon was there to take a bit of damage but refrag, and crucially, there's no reinforcement on this right hand wall in VIP. You want them both reinforced, and Apollo aren't doing that or haven't done that. Slight error looking at who's got reinforcement. Notice this too, and Jace is taking a lot of damage. He is going to be hunted now, and the Maverick just getting ready to try and pre-fire. Is this pulse going to see him first? That is the question. In fact, Pulse getting ready to throw C4. Here's the gun bullets stream pass. He manages to down Leon as well. Crossfire comes out. Down he goes. Marcus finding that kill. Pasna was there as well. And SMWDX noticed, and Elgoat both now looking for kills. And holding quite conservative positions as you would expect. They're in a 3v4. And they know the attackers have to come to them, so why make it easy for them? Beautiful shot from Notice. Find that kill onto Skyfall. Elgoat gets one onto Pasna as well. The pre-fire from Notice finds Leon, and that advantage for Dadless has just gone straight down the drain, and Marcus is now left. The emergency sub for this map is in a 1v3 against one of the most synergized teams left in the playoffs. And of course, with that Sinji notice there, going to pre-fire, find that headshot. Down goes the Jackal. Apollo. This is becoming more round for round, and he sees that Jackal, flicks onto him. Very nice shot indeed. Apologies for that, just taking a drink, and we are going to see Kitchen now that it is available. And we are actually going to see Valkyrie once again. Skyfall are going from Thermite to Thermite. Netflix Bash asking who's the best team. And Godly sent JPC. Yeah, JPC are the team confirmed in the finals. The winner of this plays the Venga Boys, and the winner of that plays JPC in a best of 5 final.
Attackers have located a bomb.
So now Apollo, they're on match point. They want to close this one out as quickly as they can. It wasn't their map pick, so to win on Dadless and match is going to be quite good for them. Ask me who is on that team. Skeldo, Rarity, Chroma, Necro Instinct, and Henry B, I believe. I believe that's their starting 5. It was their starting 5 when I last saw
10
them.
seconds remaining.
With Amps as an emergency sub for Rarity. Well, an emergency sub subbing in for Rarity. He is on that roster.
Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb.
So, we are going to see a sunrise. Actually, it was a run out, sorry. I totally forgot that they were defending. Apologies for that. And unfortunately, once again, attackers of Dadless deciding that main entrance is the way to spawn. And especially as it's kitchen, it means you're closer to site and you'll have an easier chance to plant. Looking at the utility, one C4 already used by I Hit and Miss, or is it pre-placed? C4 of El Goat still up. 2 impacts from Maestro, deployable shield, and 2 barbed wire. The attackers meanwhile bring in 3 flashes, 4 smokes, a claymore, and 2 frags. Going to burn through all that grenade denial of notice. I'm going to be waiting now for any potential bathroom drop. The hatch was opened by Leon, and he's going to decide to leave it that way. They're going to push for it later on or not at all. And Marcus is going to be scanning for those footprints. Have a entire northwest map control is in the hands of Dadless. It's just this top floor that they've got to watch out for, and that is a beautiful kill from the roof for Jamal. That is why this roof position is so strong. Get rid of that Jaeger early on. However, he has placed all of his ADSs down, so, you know, although he may have died, he's not lost a lot of utility, only an amazing gun. And I Hit and Miss. It's being crowd controlled like absolute mad, and he's being live pinged left and right. Leon takes that kill, and Dadless is showing they're not out of it yet. This is their map pick, and they want to assert dominance over Apollo, but with Apollo so far up, they can afford to lose the occasional round. The ping comes out, and it's going to be shotgun. There's Jay, SMWDX, and El Goats all holding key angles. This older of the Maestro are going to be looking for some headshots, and the flashes come out. The grenade goes off. Down goes your shield. Jay gets 1. El Goats gets 1, and SMWDX gets 1. El Goats though does get down by Skyfaller. Jamal and Skyfall, all that's left once again in a 2v2. Make it a 2v1, and Skyfaller's all on his own. He's got to find 2, otherwise his team loses their map pick. Jamal got taken out by SMW. This older going to be looking for this Thermite. He's been probably a highlight player for Dadless. He's not going to see, and SMWDX is going to close this one out for Apollo. They take map number 1, 7-3, and that is going to be smooth sailing for Apollo. Certainly looked dominant almost the entire time. Map number 2 is coming up about 10 minutes maximum away. And what map is that, you may ask? It's Clubhouse. Apollo picked it, and Dadless picked side, and they decided to start attack. We have a look. I Hit and Miss. Notice, sorry, going 12-5 did very, very well. Skyfaller, Leon, and Jamal and Marcus, sorry, getting higher press. So if we look at map number 2, it is Clubhouse, and it's going to be orange team attacking first, and orange team will be attacking first in overtime. I believe that's right. That is attacker. Yes, it is. Apologies, a request for hand cam is being set up, which is never fun. Yeah, apologies, dealing with admin stuff as a hand cam is going to have to be set up. Appreciate you all hanging around. Feel free to drop a follow if you want to stay updated with the league. I am nosy, so I am going to check who this hand cam is for. Apologies for the hand cam. The player in question is apparently noticed, and Apollo say then if Manny ends up playing, can they hand cam him as well? For those of you who are wondering, is both Manny and Noticed have hand cammed before, and both were deemed as Noticed actually used it in their last match they played, and there was no issue there, I remember, either, so we'll just have to wait on any updates on that. Once again, as I said, I'm just currently, apologies for that, knocked my table and coaster fell off. As I said, the requests for hand cams are always just a bit messy and time consuming, so we may be here for a bit. As I said, this was Apollo's map pick for map number 2, and Dadless could pick size. They interestingly chose attack, and I'm not really sure why, but it does confirm to me, especially as on the decider they picked attack first. They are attacking favoured team. They want that defense in the second half, and also allowed Apollo to choose defense in overtime. Of course, as you may expect, this is quite messy. Manny is going to be the player to replace Skyfaller. Interesting, as I thought Skyfaller was the better player on that team. They're all these players here are much better than I am, but apologies if you can hear my fan, let me know and I'll move it away. And of course, as you can imagine, a lot of arguments and accusations left, right and centre, and yeah, I believe you can hear the fan. Apologies, I'll mute my mic and turn it up. Okay, you shouldn't hear any interference now, and it should all be good. Once again, apologies, this is going to be messy. I'm just double checking. The orange team are attacking first. They're also attacking first in overtime. Who has left? That is one of the Dadless players, and I'm trying to think who that was. My memory's not exactly the best, so but one has left. Skyfall has rejoined. Okay, it was just a quick sub switcheroo. Leon has gone off. Skyfall are coming back, and apparently there are some incorrect skins being played as well, which are always fun. Well, unfortunately, I can't really talk about much, as I've got to wait for people to stop complaining. They've got to set up. They've got to set up hand cams if they are doing them. I can confirm that the person, whoever said that the Notice's hand cam was done by an Apollo player, it was done by Davin himself. So, the way for TEG it was, is if they're on your team, you have no say. So any player of Apollo couldn't do anything to Notice. That's why Davin handcammed him. It came through clear. That's why he's still playing. And Manny's apparently came through clear as well. However, the map he did play, apparently he did bad on, according to all these insults that have been chucked about by each other. Thank you all for staying around. Score on the first map, Bailey. It was 7-3 to Apollo on Dadless's map pick, and Dadless defended first as well. The first map was Coastline. Once again, we've got to wait for players to ready up. Need to stop squabbling about, of course, as we can jump back in. I can confirm that what is taking so long is they are setting up hand cams. One for Notice, one for... Let me just pick up my coaster. One for Notice, one for Manny, and we'll have to wait for them to set it up before we can jump back in. Which is why we won't start as soon as we hit that 20-minute mark, as it takes a lot longer to actually set one up. once again. I know I'm probably sounding like a broken record. I appreciate you all hanging around. This is, of course, so yeah, as I said, I'm pretty sure you're all hanging around. I hope you did enjoy map 1, of course. Wasn't the closest thing ever that we could have seen. However, it's a scoreline that you may have expect coming in knowing the roster changes. So yeah, it may not be considered a surprise, but it was nice to see a lot more close rounds. As I said, Marcus being the emergency sub. I thought he was only subbing for Manny map 1, but it seems, according to Jamal when he was in chat, of course players can be in chat now, the map's over, and he did confirm that he had left abrupt. So Marcus come back to play his old team, and the only player he will recognise on that team is Jay, or Jaxware as he was then. Kicks were Liqua and Rabbit have all been dropped from the roster, and Marcus is joining Jamal, Skyfaller and Manny, the only OG members of Dadless left over on this roster, I'd like to say. However, you can probably prove me wrong if you've watched Dadless a lot longer than I have. Once again, the reason we haven't jumped back in, hand cams being set up. One for Noticed and one for Manny. Both have previously hand cammed. And considering both are still here, I believe they are both still allowed to play. Well, I'd presume they were both cleared, but we'll have to see about that. This is always the unfortunate thing. You get players accusing each other of certain things, and then we never get back in. Eri saying, bet they lose without me and Cobra. Well, Cobra said you were both the IDLs, so losing that big of a difference compared to Apollo, who you could argue gained in strength. Don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but I think, judging by that first map, SMWX definitely gels in a lot better in this Apollo squad than she did on Free Elo. And yeah, Juxie left as well. So you're really looking at Manny, Jamal and Skyfaller, the only three left that started the league. Pazna and Marcus both pickups, and Marcus apparently picked up about 5 minutes before map 1 started. So this is the unfortunate part where, as I said, about 450 times, you're probably all sick of hearing it. But the main reason for delay, if you're just joining, is setting up hand cams. Dadless have called a protest and want Notice to hand cam, and Apollo said if Notice hand cams, then Manny must hand cam as well. And both have previously hand cammed before. So I'll try and keep you updated when we are going back into a game. Okay, the hang cam is being sorted out now. We have the member of staff who is going to be watching, so we can wait, and then we should be able to jump back in. Once again, apologise for the delay. We are jumping into Apollo's pick, and they will be defending first, which was decided by Dadless wanting to attack Clubhouse first. And let me get ready to write this down, because we may end up getting a rehost if more protests come out. And I've been stationary so long, my Xbox nearly turns off. So we are gonna see Clubhouse next. Typical operator bands you may see is usually you see a Thatcher, a Maverick. You may see the odd Monty. Well, a lot more Monty. On defense, you often see if Thatcher and Maverick's banned, Kaid is almost a guarantee. Mira's often banned. Echo's often banned. But who knows until we go in. So Apollo defending first. They are gonna arguably have the advantage because Clubhouse is of course a very defender-sided map. So it was a big risk to gamble on attacking first from Dadless, but it's one I'm willing to see if it pays off. So we've got to wait for it to be set up, and as you can probably tell by me sound like a broken record, but there is not much I can do. If you want to ask anything quote unquote serious in chat and it's not offensive or anything, I will answer. There is a delay, I should say. Once again, if you participate in TEG or in other leagues and like this league, feel free to drop a follow. This is one of our 3 remaining games: the lower bracket semis, the lower bracket finals, and the grand finals. Both lower bracket games are best of 3's, the grand final best of 5 casted by 2, and one of possibly either me or red, depending on what goes on or what it's decided to be. So the winner of this will play Venga, the team that got a bye, then knocked Dadless out into the lower bracket semis, where they play Apollo, which is this game currently. And of course, Venga got knocked out by the current team that is waiting for a challenger, JPC. They've gone undefeated this entire season. I believe Venga was the first time they haven't 7-1 or 7-0'd an opponent on a map, so definitely looking like the team to beat as of yet. Of course, everybody is now complaining about the heat. So there is literally nothing I could do right now, of course, as you probably know. I'm currently, of course, judging between admin-y stuff with the Hangcam and Twitch chat. However, there is still not a lot going on. There's not a lot of progress. Everybody there's not a lot anybody can do, as it's just waiting for staff to be available. Of course, we probably didn't expect there to be M&K accusations in the lower brackets, especially when both players in question have already hand cammed. I'm just going to ask people to give me a topic to talk about. So of course these are just merely accusations, so there is currently no proof against Noticed, I believe. And then we should be good. Appreciate you all once again for hanging around. I know you're all probably bored as anything. Got to ready for J Got Booted to ready up. Okay. So we aren't too far away. So it should be good. And making hand cam channels apparently because people can't join, etc. Okay, once again, if you're still hanging around, thank you very much. This is supposed to be a 10-minute max. Max break, and it's just for players to chill after a map. However, with accusations, I appreciate you having to listen to me waffle for 25 minutes. Yeah, thank you for sticking around. Okay, just waiting on confirmation from Jason if we can start. Okay, so while all of Dadless is still ready, Apollo aren't. So we're still sorting out this issue. Right, I've basically waffled. Okay, we are jumping into map number 2. Thank you for sticking around. It's finally, the hand camming has been sorted out. So for those of you who weren't here, Dadless launched a protest. They want Notice hand cammed, and Apollo said if Notice has the hand cam, then Manny does too. So first ban coming out, and it's from Apollo, who are defending, and it's a Monty ban. Not a big surprise of given how strong he is, especially when rafters exist or catwalk or whatever you want to call it in garage, and he's just so very strong there. And Blackbeard is then banned. Notice was doing that before, and he was working absolute wonders. Interesting choice when Manny, of course, is a Blackbeard player himself. Although you're limiting Notice more operators than Manny has on attack. I've seen, that's not a dig at Manny, of course. That is just me, me seeing him. I've seen him mainly on Ash or Blackbeard, and it's a bit of a double-edged sword, that ban. So the final ban coming out, and then we can finally get back into some games. I know you've probably all been waiting. And it is a Kaid ban. So Kaid is what you would expect if a Thatcher and Maverick was banned. However, he was not. So first site, it is Church Arsenal. This is typically your second site. However, both these teams, if we judge off, coastline, both teams went to second sites first. So we're actually going to see a Cav from Notice and a Rook from A. Are we going to see a sick pick? We are actually. It's going to be Jamor and Notice. We're going to see a Jaeger, and we're going to see Jamor go from Ash to Ash. So, we are finally going to see some rounds, some gameplay, finally. Appreciate you all once again for sticking around for that long time of listening to me just waffle about the same thing for 25-30 minutes. Right, reinforcements are coming out. This looks fairly standard. You want all 3 hatches done, you want these 3 walls done, you may want the middle wall there, you want both of those construction walls done. And then you've got one more reinforcement to put, I believe, 3. Yeah, and it's going to be on this corner wall. Okay, so now if you're just joining, Manny and Noticed are hand camming. That's why there was a massive delay in his system. So we're going to see a bit of server lag there. Apologies for that. So where have the attackers spawned? It looks like it's going to be a fairly standard kitchen, main stairs, oil pit push. Basically an eastern push. You want all this control, and then you can force a push either way. However, there is a construction spawn. We may see the old player pushing main stairs, and you probably do actually need that. And we're going to see roam clear, and Manny going to be on this gnome, but he's just going to be watching garage drone, and going to be placing his air jabs down, and we'll see where people are roaming. Goat's just going to sit on his vault cam, and I hit and miss. Just going to look for any drones, because he is being spotted from somewhere, and he knows it too, and little does he know that they're directly above him, and it is Jamor that is, so he has the vertical to break in and see the Vigil, who's just sat there below. No attackers currently in basement. They're still clearing out the top floor. 2 are on roof, 1 on the middle floor, and that is actually Marcus on the Habana. Even though we've seen Skyfaller do the hard support a lot more, and as soon as I say that, I remember he is on Thermite, so Marcus is going to be the one who's probably going to see the Vigil first, because I Hit and Miss has been sat here the entire time, and maximum impact's being brought. SMWDX now back on her trusty Legion as the ban doesn't come out on the op for this time. I Hit and Miss is basically trapped. They're all around him and he's got no feasible way to escape. He is going to see Manny first thing first, and he's now going to rotate to look for this next operator. Can he find another one? He can, onto Pazna. They aren't looking where he is, and he's going to get away with absolute murder. He's just going to be stuck now, and he's going to run out and get a third as he finds Skyfaller as well. Can he find any more? Surely not. The attackers need to do something about this. The Ash sees him, the Ash gets him, and that Vigil Reign of Terror has been ended abruptly. And Jamal finds that kill, very crucial kill. However, they've lost so much, and especially when you miss the flashbang, you're wasting important time now. And the final hatch gets opened up. Does that get impact trick? It does, and now they aren't going to be able to breach it as Elgoats finds Jamal, so it's all left up to Marcus. The emergency sub, he's just joined, and he's now got to face a 1v4 against his former team. 3 of the players still up are the players that replaced that second place AGL team. And Jay got booted is the final one here as well, and he's just going to look for the head of Elgoats. Elgoats going for the deagle, and the spray just comes down. Marcus can just wait, he's got time to waste, and this is almost certain an Apollo round. They're going to take round number 1, and even though Elgoats gets down, there's not a lot they can do. Jay got booted, finishes off the Hibana, and Apollo take that round fairly convincingly as well. The teabagging crowd spamming comes out as well, making sure his controller works. So are we going to see Cash next? We are. CCTV. We're going to see Vigil once again from I Hit and Miss. We're going to see Jaeger once again, and Jay got booted. It's his turn to play the Cav. That's going to be sick, but is he going to bring the Rook once again? That is the question. And he is going to sick pick. But who to? That is the big question. He's going to sick pick to Wamai. Wamai very strong on this top floor site. Not surprised to see him being brought. If we have a look at the defenders, you can tell they know they're attacking CCTV. They've got the Maverick. They've got the Thermite. They've got everything they need. So Manny going to be under Zafir this time, and Marcus goes from one hard breach to another. He brings out the Maverick. So this is a very important map for both teams. It either means you win if you're, notice 6 impact damage. He's now down to about 49 health. It means you win the game, or you have a chance to take it to the final map. And notice going to be shooting that drone, and it's not much to do. And I Hit and Miss getting ready for a run out. He was a pivotal player. The attack there to allow him to just get away with that is disgusting, and basically cost Dadless that round win. And if you cast your minds back to the time these two teams last played, Apollo is already equaling how good they played last time. They've got the same amount of rounds as before. That is an Ash breaching charge from somewhere, and nobody roaming basement. Everybody's on this top floor. And where is Jaeger? There's Jaeger. Jaeger probably going to play conservative this round. He has been obliterated by an impact from SMWDX. So the former urban players are going to do some friendly fire, and here comes the Maverick trick. That means Manny is going to look for some feet there, and he's going to look for that bandit. An impact gets thrown from I Hit and Miss, and a very patient angle being held. The wall gets opened up. So no Maverick tricking being brought, and that is an awkward placement. You're going to have to vault over that. And that gives someone like SMWDX an advantage. She gets hit there from the Ash of Jamal. He is on a more aggressive role as Nomad. As Notice, sorry. Nomad is looking for that cash window. Whatever player that is, which is just watching, and I believe that is Elgoats. It is. Elgoats is the The token garage player, it appears so far. The shots come out from Manny, they don't find anything. Of course, Notice gets down by Marcus, but I hit and miss refrags him. Doesn't help, the Jaeger was down to half health, and I hit and miss finds a double as well. The man's on fire, and he's definitely not going to be stopped by this Dadless attack, and he's been doing this time and time again. Jamal, though, equalises it, finds El Goats, but with I hit and miss still on the board, the threat of the individual player is very much still there. Bullet holes being set up, because why not? I hit and miss getting ready for that as Legion just aiming her gun down into garage, and Skyfall is going to rotate up, and this is probably going to be a default plant. Can they find anything? That's the question. Manny is going to look for some kills, but SMWX finds Jamal. I hit and miss, going to get a triple kill for the round. Can he find a quad? And once again, as we've often seen, multiple rounds now, it's all left up to Skyfaller. He's in a 1v2, and look who it is once again. Jay got booted at SMWDX, and once again, he doesn't win it out. Apollo take their second in a row. You see those holes time and time again, but usually on the left hand wall, and it was more on the right end, but it didn't matter as Jay was able to finish that round off for Apollo once more. And we are going to go to bar stock. I'm expecting them to change it. Yep, good, because why would you go to bar stock? So gym bedroom, your token third site. Not a surprise they are going here. They can't really go anywhere else feasibly. Notice Sixpix is he going onto Yegi, he's going onto the mirror. We have seen him, he is the token vector player, it does appear. He's been playing a lot of Goyon with Theme Park. He's playing the mirror here as well. We also see the sledge Sixpick to IQ. That is Marcus, who's off the hard breacher for now, and Skyfaller remains on his loyal Thermite. So Notice is currently AFK. We've seen this before from Apollo, I believe. I believe it was them that did it. And they had a mirror on this wall. They had a mirror. Okay, it wasn't Apollo that did this. Must have been another team. It might have been against Apollo. That might have been it. And this wall is going to get rainfall. Honestly, when Notice puts his mirrors in.
10 seconds to go. 5 seconds left.
So this rotation kill hole being made, and that's going to really allow anybody who's pushing in to have a difficult time. Jacuzzi push, you want that open. The Oryx, is that Oryx? No, it's not, it's an Ash Breaching Charge. Apologies for that. It's that Ute Jammer didn't do a lot, and when you just throw that into a Jammer pass, now that's not going to work out very good. And we have a look. Where is I hit and miss? He is the player that these guys need to be careful with. Dadless need to watch out for this video. He's big threat, and I'm trying to find him, and he's in tunnel. Very much gonna not be seen for a while, and the Jaeger of El Goats is going to look for him. The Thermite being opened up, and El Goats almost doesn't get out of the wall in time, and Skyfaller may just vault in and feed himself to the 416, and bullets coming out. Notice sat on cams. Of course, they're not pushing Jacuzzi. He doesn't really need to do a lot, and SMWX is going to hold this long angle in case. The smoke grenade has come out exceptionally early though from that Ying, and the spray from the Vector comes out, and Notice watching that window, and he's going to hold that angle with El Goat. There's that Candela, and is it going to blind the Nomad? Oh, it's going to blind Notice. The second one coming in. Pasma finds that kill onto Nice, gone in anyway. I hit and miss finds Manny, but Marcus refrags that onto I hit and miss. El Goat's finding Pasna. Skyfall is down, and all that's left as SMWDX finishes off the IQ. I believe Notice is the one who got that down. He's just going to pop the mirror. Why not, you know? As Jamal is now picking up the Thermite of Skyfaller, and the MP5K giving away the position, and that is somebody pushing in bathroom IQ of Ash Sorry, and Elgoats finds that kill. Was notice ran out of bullets there. That window, Skyfaller once again left on his own in a clutch situation. Is he going to be able to finally find success? I don't think he is, judging by the fact he just completely ignored the head. He's going to vault on in, and doesn't matter. Elgoat's going to finish that one off, and Apollo hit that third round in a row. They complete a full rotation. So we are going to see Church. This isn't a surprise. I expect to see Church, CCTV, Gym once again, or one site repeated. And notice going on to the Oryx, and we've actually got a cap can from Jay. That's probably a 6 pick. As noticed, goes on to the Valkyrie. As I said before, both Manny and Notice have hand cam before. Notice did it the last time these two teams played and was cleared after he, I believe, top fragged, I want to say, or he was just behind I hit and miss. Manny, I believe, was also cleared, but he was suspended for M&K. I'm not going to get into that controversy. So it makes sense that Manny's being hand cam. Notice is hand camming based on a protest. That's what I'm trying to say. Interestingly enough, we've got a cap can, and cap can's not an operator you see often. If you do, it's going to be 6 pick, and you're going to try and hide as much intel as possible. I'm not sure why. Is it for 6 impact grenades? It might be for 6 impact grenades.
5 seconds left. Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb.
As ironically enough, both players who are hand camming are the only players to not have kills yet. I've just noticed that. I'm not accusing anyone of Skyfall. Was AFK for a second. This is the pick I want to see. Why have Apollo decided, you know what we need? A cap can. Because there are many better operators in my opinion. Notice gonna chill on cams. And Elgoat's going to be creeping his way up the stairs. He is going to hear movement to his left. He's going to see movement to his left, but he's going to look away at the wrong time. Was that the Asher Jamor? I think it was. Indeed it was. Jamor has a knack of spinning when defenders look away at the worst time. It's going to be Garage Control seized first, so this implies a blue push. And speaking of blue push, look who's already there and waiting. It's only the Ying of Pazner, and Pazner's going to run back. Slight delayed reactions from SMWDX, and Notice going to sit in the corner. He's now going to peek it as well, and he's going to get droned as well. He's going to find that drone. He's going to play slightly conservative, of course. They don't want to lose the Valk too early, especially as she has a nitro for plant denial. And we have a look. I hit and miss. Roaming above, Manny is going to find that kill. Now going to be looking for that default cam, and who was that spotted? Elgoats, and Elgoats is in a world of trouble, and he goes down to Manny as well. The double kill coming out from the Zafir player as SMWDXJ and Notice are all doing on these supportive roles. Not a big surprise when here comes the nitro self thrown up, wrong side, not going to find anything, and Manny knows they're hunting for that Valk player. Burns the ADSs, of course. And just going to make sure that that impact grenade gets rid of any. Notice he's going to be the one watching that drop as Jay found a kill onto Pazner. The Ying goes down, and as she is so incredibly strong at the moment, that is a good kill. Marcus walks in. Jay says goodbye. That cap cam working out for them. Notice looking for the kill. Down he goes. The Thermite and the Ash both finding kill, and Jay's left in a 1v3. Not going to work as Jamor finds that kill. Dadless finally find themselves on the board, and Jamor finding 2 that he needed, and to take his team over the line for round number 4. So are we going to see Church again, or are we going to see Cash? That is the big question. We're going to see Church once again. That's not a quote-unquote massive surprise. And if we have a little notice going on to Bandit, it's Jay, goes on to Mirror. Apologies, you can hear my noisy ass neighbours. I shut windows, so that just shows how loud they're being. Manny gonna sick pick from Ying to Zafir as Pasner goes on to the Thatcher, and Jay goes from Mirror on to Rook.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
So we're going to see standard reinforcements come out. And yeah, we're probably going to see 3 hatches, 3 church walls, 1 middle blue, this left wall here, and the 2 construction walls. All 10 reinforcements you use. This one on this right wall here, that's wherever you want to put it. If you want to reinforce these 2, then you don't do one in blue. Or actually, they're going to leave this wall soft.
10 seconds left.
That is very interesting indeed.
5
You see
seconds
hatches
to
being
insertion.
set up. Notice is going to be the roamer, it seems, as we see 3 running around, 4 running around below, and I hit and miss, the only one that is not, and he's just waiting. It was Jamal last time. He's going to wait to see if Jamal sprints past once again. I think the attackers have originally thought this to be a cash hold. I'm only guessing that based off the fact they brought a Thatcher. Where they brought a Maverick last time they attacked cash, the Thatcher is a more reliable option. And Jamal just going to be looking for any headshots that he can find. He's going to repel upside down, going to look into bathroom as it's a 5-player site hold. We've seen Apollo run this strat before, and so it doesn't surprise me they're doing this again. You run all 5 site, you forfeit map control, but you attempt to confuse the enemies enough
Bomb located by
that they
attackers.
waste a lot of time map clearing when they don't need to. So we can see fairly usual positions, the 2 in moto, the 1 behind bar, you have the 1 behind chassis, 1 prone in tunnel, and Elgoat is going to get away from his position for a second. And let's have a look at what some of the attackers are doing, or not, as I get a spectator glitch, very nice. Marcus going to be looking for any denial as managed running down those main stairs with Skyfaller just slowly peeking into bar. So Jamal is still on this angle and wonder how long he wants to hold it for, because that's what I mean why it's good to have a 5 site hold when you're an overly aggressive team, because you're forcing Jamal. He spent over half the round rappel upside down on that wall. It doesn't matter because nobody's even going to move around there. And notice, I believe, saw that headshot. The C4 comes out. It's not going to find any. The lag from the server doesn't help. And Jamal finds the opening kill onto I hit and miss. Notice gets shot in the foot. Jamal got downed actually, and that was close. But Pasner is there to pick up. Not refrag, jeez. My brain is stuttering at the minute. Apologies for that. And notice it's going to be prone underneath, and he's going to look for this Thatcher. Can he find that Thatcher? Yes, he can. He finds the down, he finds the finish, and he's going to look for a second. Pasno taken down fairly early on. Pasno taken down, that is a crucial pick, because if that denial hasn't been broken, that is it, as SMWDX finds the kill onto Manny, and that's another, just pick the same angle to feed her some more. Notice it's going to be looking for the feet there of the IQ, and does he find it? Beautiful headshot onto Marcus. So
10 seconds
notice
left.
just going to look for Jamal. Jamal is just going to wait for people to push. He finds that. Gets El Goats. Is he going to find Bandit as well? I don't believe so. He's going to 360. Hope for a headshot. Gets impact grenaded into the Shadow Realm. Jay got booted. Finishes things off. And Apollo 4-1 up. And a Kobe and a half right there. Down goes Apollo. Down goes Apollo. Down goes the Asher Jamal. As you can tell how much my brain is lagging at the minute. Obviously, Dadless just ain't the same anymore without the OGs. They lost their 2 IGLs, and that's no easy thing to replace as quickly as they've had to. So it doesn't surprise me to see them not as strong against Apollo as they were. Icewheel, how are you doing, mate? We are going to see Cash CCTV once again, and even though this map is the map that Dadless 7-1'd, oh, throw my pen, 7-1'd Apollo. It's currently 4-1 to Apollo at the minute.
Defenders, protect your bombs.
And it just shows how, when you lose your 2 IGLs, how much of an impact that has on you. Of course, I believe only Jamor and Skyfaller played this map for Dadless last time. The other 3 were Juxie, Aries / Farmer Colling, and Cobra Rosen, if memory serves me correctly. Manny subbed in for Oregon, which is the map that they ended up losing to Apollo. And unfortunately, that hasn't been the same. As Apollo definitely looking like the Apollo. Probably the Apollo we expected to see against that first game, against the first Dadless game. I think
5 seconds to insertion.
losing 7-1 in Clubhouse and then picking Clubhouse just shows how much they've improved. They only made 1 roster change. They dropped Liquoras. That is a spawn peak and a half from I hit and miss onto Jamor. And that is a crucial pick that they have lost very, very, very early on, and that is a really nice angle. I believe that is onto Garage Stairs. It is. That just shows when you're playing against Apollo, you're never safe from I hit and miss. Notice actually takes some damage. I'm not sure how he's taking damage, to be honest. I believe it's just somebody watching the window, and I think it is. Yeah, Pazner on the Buck. First time we've seen Buck today, and of course with losing his impacts, losing his frags. He's not been the same operator as he once was, and it's just pushed Sledge into the limelight. So logistics is going to be Buck's way of attack. He's going to try and apply vertical, horizontal pressure. That is the word. As this is a very, very messy. That is a very, very, very messy Maverick trick. As notice, takes out Manny, and Pazner though does find SMWDX around 6, and things are looking kind of desperate at the minute for Dadless. They need to win this round to have a chance to go to a map number 3. He's got the shotgun out, he's ready, and the shots come out from Marcus. Skyfaller looking for El Goats. He finds El Goats as well, and notice he's just waiting for any push in. He's in a relatively safe position. He does have to be careful from that window. However, I believe it's probably going to be watched as I hit and miss. The danger that is this roaming vigil player, and he's going to miss some shots, and he's going to look for Skyfaller, and Skyfaller knows this. Jay takes a lot of damage. Meanwhile, I believe he's in a gunfight with Pazner, and Skyfaller just crawling ever so slowly. Gonna see the vigil. I hit and miss. Gonna find a triple. Is not only did he find Skyfaller, he found Marcus as well, leaving Pazner in a 1v3. He's very much in a difficult position. He's got a minute left, plenty of time, and he's got to find 3 members of Apollo. It's not going to work. I hit and miss with 4 for the round, as he is going to run out just like he did against Jamor, and he's going to take things 5-1 up for Apollo. So where are we going for Dadless's first defense? We are going to CCTV. That is not surprising, as that is usually your primary first site. Let's have a look at the leaderboard. I hit miss going 11 and 5, top fragging for his team. Meanwhile, Jamal going 6 and 5, top fragging for Dadless. There's Pazner and Manny and Marcus all got 2 kills. Skyfaller with 3. Got an SMWDX with 4. J with 5. Noticed with 3. So Cash CCTV, your standard first sight, especially with no Kaid, it makes things a bit harder, and especially, and Thatcher and Maverick weren't banned, as if you weren't here, the bans were Monty, Blackbeard, Maestro, Kaid. So that is why we are seeing a lot of Bandit. We aren't seeing any Mute. With the Kaid ban, you could run a Mute Mozzie. We've seen Notice and I Hit Miss both play Mozzie incredibly well. And I'm sure Jay isn't afraid to go on the odd mute here and there. We've seen him play Smoke a few times. We're going to be on that thermite as they can now attack. And where are they going to spawn? This is looking like a fairly standard push, judging by their spawn positions. Somebody spawned shipping dock. I hit and miss spawning shipping dock. That's very interesting. Manny is going to be the garage rafters player, and he is going to be the one who's going to try and find Jay got booted. What was that sound? That is the Habana pellet of El Goats, and that is going to force... Ooh. Manny would have seen that head. He knows they're around then. He knows the Claymore's coming down as well, and he probably knows that that is noticed as well. As that wall got open incredibly easy. That is quite alarming if you're Dadless. As SMWDX and G got booted, working very quickly and efficiently to get that wall open, and SMWDX is looking for the player in garage. I thought she would have found that kill. Jamor found I hit and miss meanwhile, but Manny with a very nice long range headshot with the MPX, often called a headshot machine, and he is there proving just why that might be. El Goats noticed and Jay are left in a 3v5, but Manny is low and Jamor and Pazna aren't full. As Notice going to be the player watching in garage. He knows the pings have come out. Smoke grenades coming out incredibly early as well. Manny's just got to lie prone as he's wasting so much time. Caught in the reload as Pazna found Notice. Marcus found Skyfaller, and Jay, while he found Skyfaller, he's not going to find Manny. I realise oof, that is unfortunate there. Jamor ready, waiting with that 416 carbine, and Dadless, it brings some hope back by winning their first round. So we're going to go and see where Dadless choose to go again. They're going to choose to go church. Your typical second site, and I've written that in the wrong place, so that's great. We're actually going to see our first Nomad. We're actually going to see our first Ella. There's Manny bringing out that operator. Glass from El Goats, that's going to be 6 picked, almost a guarantee. Asking for the scoreboard. This is the scoreboard currently. I hit and miss and Jamor top fragging for their teams. The rest of Dadless all with 3 kills. It's a little bit more even on the side of Apollo. So we have a look at basement once again, and this time it is Dadless defending it. Apologies for that, I had a drink. It is Dadless defending it. We'll see what they do differently. Skyfaller on the mute. What a surprise. He's a very strong mute player, and he's just going to fire some bullets out there for some unknown reason, it seems.
10 seconds to insertion.
So we are looking at probably a heavy roam. I'm judging that on the fact that Ella and Vigil have been brought, but Ella does seem to be running below. We're going to see Grushmok mines placed in fairly standard positions, and he is then going to rotate up main stairs. That's not a surprise in the slightest. So El Goats is just taking a huge amount of damage from Jamor, and he's actually on the fuse, so that is a big loss right there. And Notice getting ready to open up that barricade, and Pazna going to be looking for a headshot there onto the Habana of Jay. He's going to give away his position, but I hit misses there, and he's crouch spamming, and he's ready to find an opening kill. Going to kill that jukebox as well, and we see everybody regrouping from the side of Apollo in bar. Here come the hockey pucks of death, as El Goats is going to destroy absolutely everything. Manny is actually thinking about potentially pushing upstairs. He's going to use that FO12 shotgun to his advantage. Notice is taking damage from somewhere. I'm not too sure where as well. As Marcus once again on that red dot site on the bandit. He is going to be looking
been located.
and hunting. One top fragger finds another as Jamor finds I hit and miss, but SMWDX is going to try and make him not get away so easily, and Notice is there to track him as well. And he's actually going to cut off any potential east-west rotate, and he's going to rotate towards blue, but nobody is down there as Marcus has retreated back to site. Apologies for spinning the camera view a bit there. Money just camping with the shotgun, the FO12. Of course, incredibly annoying to go up against, and he's just going to sit and wait. Speaking of shotguns, Skyfaller once again on this mute with the shotgun SMG, and he's not going to notice that player pushing in, and it's Elgoats, and Elgoats may have gotten away with murder. Notice gets killed by Jamor, and Jamor is definitely a major threat at the minute, and the SMG-11 going to melt the fuse. Doesn't help, he's on such low health. However, Jamor, his reign of terror is over as the Nomad of SMWX. She finds that kill. Manny misses the shotgun shots, however, some of the pellets land, and it's enough to kill that Habana. SMWDX, the newest recruit, has to go against 3 of Dadless. Manny, Skyfaller, Marcus, all there and waiting, and they're going to use this long angle as an advantage, and SMWDX is going to find that kill onto Marcus. Slight delay in reactions from Skyfaller and Manny to push, but running into the FO12, and Dadless pick up their second in a row, and they're definitely trying to swing things back, and that is easier said. However, they've got to win the next 4 in a row to win it outright, otherwise they go to overtime. We are going to see gym and bedroom next. That's not a big surprise from me, and this map is definitely looking like a map we expected to see. However, last time it was 5-3, Apollo won the next 2 in a row to close things off, and Pasma's turn to play the yellow, as they definitely seem to be passing that around. Notice going from Jackal to Jackal. I think Jamor was definitely a major threat right there. He got 3. He got 2, sorry. Skyfaller got 1, and Manny got the last 2. Apologies for my shocking memory, it seems. Right, gym bedroom, mirror being brought, that's no surprise at all, and it's Skyfaller who's going to mirror. No more mute or smoke for him. He finally gets to use a gun that isn't a shotgun. We're looking at fairly standard mirror reinforcement. And the rotate along the floor. The rotate and the feet holes is what I'm trying to say. You can tell my brain has died from waffling for half an hour during the in between each map. And wouldn't it be an underdog story if Dadless, after losing 2 of their IGLs with an emergency sub and a fairly new player, could take Apollo's map pick, just like what Apollo did to them before? And Skyfaller placing a mirror on this position. This is interesting. Manny gonna electrify it as well. Castle being brought by Marcus. This is a map that this is a site that Castle is very nice on, and I do like me the odd bit of Castle. I think he's a very strong operator used in these sort of situations where you've got a full team communicating properly. Jamor is on the hunt once again, and he is looking for the last 2. He's going to look to improve more than last round where he only found 2. And he's definitely looking for kills right now, and that's not a great start you want, as Elgoats finds the kill onto Marcus. The castle going down, but I'm assuming he used all of his utility. If he didn't, that is a major blow, because if you're going to bring an operator just to die after using their utility, there are better operators to do it. Falls down as well, as SMWDX gets another wall bang. Calm down, jeez. Pasma is taken out as well. Manny's going to take some damage as well. He's actually going to find Elgoats, but go down from it. Jay finds Jamor, and it's all left up to Manny. I hit and miss, goes down, and Notice looking for the bandit, and he's actually going to be able to scan the footprints of the bandit, and he's just going to pre-fire just in case. Manny is very much stuck right now, and he's not going to Not going to be able to find anything, is on such low health. Apollo taking to match point with Notice, finding in that last kill. Just a reminder to both, just to remind chat that if Dadless win, we will be interviewing Jamal, and if Apollo win, we'll be interviewing Jay. So we are going to see Cash CCTV, and Apollo going to try to close this map out here, 7-3-7-3. And they've definitely looked like the better team overall. People requesting to see the scoreboard. Here's the scoreboard right now. So Cash CCTV 6 pick. I hit and miss goes on to someone that isn't a a typical entry fragger. Capital of course is a free speed. I do know this. I apologise, my brain is sort of fried at the minute, it seems. He's going to bring that Capital. The Capital is so strong in support utility. I mean, his only counter really to prevent them going down is the All Might. That doesn't even prevent them going down, it just moves them to a specific location. Of course, there's that period of time where Capital was just so incredibly strong. It was really when Might wasn't in play, and he was so strong because there was nobody to counter him. Jaegers don't do anything, and with Jaeger being picked 94% of the time, it doesn't help that he can't counter the super strong operator. He has fallen off a little bit, that has to be said, because no initial damage on the Legion mines allow he played even more. I'm assuming that has a mute jammer, and it doesn't actually. Skyfaller in dangerous position. This is probably going to get opened up very quickly. Marcus isn't even trying to impact that. Isn't even trying to trick that to have an impact on that wall. As Notice running around behind. No attackers are in at the minute. Elgate's fancy opening pick onto Pazner, and that's not how you want to start things off. Jamal, meanwhile, is running out. That's for a guarantee. So I'm looking forward to see what he decides to do here. And he's going to look for anybody, but he's not going to be able to actually see anyone, so it doesn't matter. He may actually be able to see Elgate, so we'll know if Elgate dies to Jamal. We'll know where that came from. Can the Jaeger, and that roam game is going to have to end quickly because, ooh, Skyfaller missing the shotgun pellets. You don't see him do that every day, and it was Cosses. Elgate's found that, but Marcus was there to refrag, and Manny getting downed by I hit and miss anyway, using that para to find any body that he can. Jamal finding Jay got booted, and I don't think Apollo know where that was from. You can tell from Notice and I hit and miss just walking around. They have no idea where their thermite has just died from. But Jamal, I believe, went up east stairs, but now he's going up main stairs. He's looking for a flank into construction, but nobody has pushed there, so Apollo are safe for now. I hit miss is getting ready to start smoking things off. Both smokes going down. If he just proved that he may have found that kill, and Notice with a beautiful shot onto Manny. Operator goes down. The wall bang from Jamal doesn't find anything because the C4 found that kill just instead, and I hit and miss is covering that plant. He's going to get the kill. It's now a 1v1, and it's all left up to Notice and Marcus, but Marcus is going to find both. He's going to anyway, as he gets a 1v2 clutch against his former team. He's going to win that one out for Dadless. They aren't out of it yet. They've got a lot of work to do, however, it's still possible. They can get this to overtime. However, they will need to win the next 3 in a row, and that is the next 2 in a row, sorry. Just remember that it's 6-4, not 6-3. They do need to win the next 2 in a row, and they've lost their primary site for the remainder of regular play. They either have to win Church and go Gym, or they have to try Church twice. That is what I expect them to do if they lose it. Actually, if they lose Church once, they lose. Manny going on to the Valkyrie. We haven't seen him on that yet. Pazner once again on the Ella. Skyfaller once again on mute. No big surprises from the operator lineup being brought. Pazner has left. That is the worst timing. I'm not sure if we're going to get a rehost or not. We are going to get a rehost. Okay. So, scoreboard gets wiped. and we've got to get ready to rehost the game. So if we saw their Dadless, we're definitely showing they aren't out of it yet. However, by choosing to start to attack first on Clubhouse, I think they may have shot themselves in the foot. Spectator. Okay, apparently connection is being funny. That is the issue. As it loads in, I'll invite both team reps. So that is Jamor, that is Jane. I'll just type in the gamer tags. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves at the minute. Once again, the interviews, of course, as this is a TEG game, we interview the winning rep. It's either Jay or Jamor, depending on which team wins it. And we were on Clubhouse. The operator bands were... actually, let me figure out the sides first, as it was orange. Band operators were Monty, Blackbeard, Maestro and Kai. The Maestro band was a little bit more surprising. However, I expect that was because SMWX did so well in holding those long angles with the older on coastline. So it makes sense slightly as the first round was a blue win. Orange attacked first, so it was a blue win on Church. It was a blue win on Cash. It was a blue win on Jim. It was an orange win on Church. It was a blue win on Church. It was a blue win on CCTV. Then round 6 was a orange win on CCTV. Then it was an orange win on Church, blue win on Jim, and orange win on CCTV. So let me double check that. Yeah, don't spam. Goodbye. Okay, so it was blue, 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 orange, blue, blue, orange, orange, blue, orange. So I got a message from Jamor. Is it going to be to start? Jamor said he needs an invite. Okay, I swear I've invited him. Let me just double check. Blue, 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 orange, blue, blue, orange, orange, blue, orange. Cool. So, apologies for this delay. It seems when one thing goes wrong, everything can go wrong. Jamor is the player we need to invite, as I just realised I spelt his name wrong. That's awkward. There we go. Sent him one there. As orange attacked first, and orange attack during overtime. Okay, thank you for the remaining lot for hanging around. It has been long. I'm incredibly sorry about that. However, we load back into things with Apollo 6-4 up. I'm going to make sure everything is good. We are just waiting on Manny to join. Once Manny joins, everyone readies up, we can jump back into things. Manny has joined, we're waiting on all players to ready up. Just a cheeky sneeze. We wait on noticed Pasner, Marcus and Jamal to ready up and we can jump back in. Pasner and Marcus need to ready up. And we can jump back in. He has. So Clubhouse, we are on round number 10, number 11. I can count. Why did I ban him? If you scroll up, he sent about 20 messages in the space of about 10 seconds. That is spam. So 6-4 for Apollo. We're going to see Church once again. That's fairly standard. This is a big one. No, it's a best of 3. We're on map 2. The first was a 7-3 win to Apollo. So Manny gonna sick pick from Doc to Bandit and was changing his mind, but he's stuck with it now. Pasner goes on to Pulse. Skyfaller once again on mute and Vigil is being played by Marcus.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
So let's have a look at what everyone is doing setup wise. And it's looking fairly standard. Judging by current reinforcements, you got the 3 hatches, you're gonna have the 2 there, and you're gonna have these 2 construction walls. So J and L Goats once again on hard breaching duties. I hit miss is probably going to crouch spam his way through on Ash. That is a joke. He's carrying the diffuser though, and does he just want points? That is the question. Because he lost all of his kills. Noticed also once again on this Jackal. I'm looking for Jamal because he was a big threat before, and he's going to start things off by being as threatening as he was before. He knows there's one somewhat in the shipping dock spawn, and who was that? That is the question. Well, I hit and miss, and notice they're just going to charge on in. They did this on coastline and it worked very, very well. They could catch Jamal napping, to be completely honest. Those footprints are going to come out and it's going to track that Pulse who is sat below, and Pasner is somewhat safe as long as he doesn't get floor banged, but he shouldn't because where is he gone? Now he could because he's under soft floor. Now he can't. As we have a look at this, is not good rain clear at all. If Jamal and Marcus have just waltzed around, Noticed is looking for them though. However, does he see those footprints? He doesn't, and Marcus is getting ready for him, and Jamal is there if needed. I don't think they know the vigil is around. The Jaeger has been spotted, and I think Notice is going to run in completely blind. Beautiful kill onto Marcus. The vigil didn't win a fight that he should have, as Notice looking like he did when he was on Blackbeard. Finding a very nice kill, and he's just going to run around now, and that's full map control. Side from sight in the hands of the defenders. C4 goes off, he doesn't find anything, but the shots from the Type 89 does a lot more than the UMP, as El Goats finds Pazner. And after the rehost, it just looks like Dadless aren't going to carry on with that momentum. So unfortunate for them, as momentum is key in Siege. He actually takes a significant amount of damage, and Jamal is still there. Is he going to find that Nomad? Yes, he is. SMWX isn't looking the right way. Manny is in Moto, or near Moto, as Jamal finds another one onto Notice. He's definitely looking a lot better. This is Jamal we usually see, in him and Skyfaller both. And Skyfaller finds the SMG-11 kill onto Jay. And Manny also finds the one to I-hit and miss. It's all down to El Goats. You're on a 5v3 and you manage to get it down to a 2v1 because Jamal has just been retraded by El Goats. He's going to punch that, but Manny is there. He's waiting. He's going to look for that kill. He usually doesn't miss those, and no, he does not. Dadless take it to round number 12 on map number 2, and did we underestimate them too early on? They didn't look strong at the first half. They lost 5 rounds. Yes, they were attacking Clubhouse, however, 5? That is very extreme. As we are going to see Jim for the final round of regular play, and I'm glad we have a much closer map 2. Much like when these two teams last played, map 1 and 2 weren't very close to 7-1, 7-4. Map 3 was an 8-7, so 7-3 and current 6-5 is very good as well. Pazner goes back onto the pulse from the Frost. Fairly obvious he was going to sick pick. Nobody wants to play Frost. No castle being brought on the site. That castle usually does very good on. Skyfaller going to be back on the mute for this site rather than the mirror. So let's have a look at setup. As I said, Skyfaller not on that mirror. That's what we usually see him on. Well, that's what we did see him on last time they defended this site. So is he deciding, you know what, we want Skyfaller back on mute. He's too good with the SMG-11, so let's keep him on that. We're going to have a look at setup. Unfortunately, not a lot of these operators that both sides have been picking usually have a lot of setup. Like they're not a Valks, they don't have cams, they don't have maestros. They're just reinforcing, making rotates, getting in position, throwing goos as Marcus is doing, or is he just making something? Is he making lol? Making a lol right there, is he's not doing too badly against this former team. Well, he wasn't. I don't know why I checked the scoreboard when it's been 1 round since the rehost. No denial. Well, there is denial, but Manny hasn't used it, or did he? I think he did. No, there is a Thatcher being brought as well. Let's get rid of the meat jammer. Where did Bandit use his bandits? I'm genuinely confused. I probably missed them. They probably put one on there before the grenade got them, but he's put 2 there and 2 there. Okay, it was a meat jammer then. Looks like Marcus puts the lol in the shower, but he is the only line of defense holding bathroom, and that's not a nice position I want to be in when one grenade could fly on in, and especially now, you know, he's got to lie prone. He's going to take a bit of damage as well. That's a lot more damage than I thought he would get. I hit Mistake's taken damage elsewhere, and Pazner is just trying to supply information. He knows one's on hatch. That is Notice, and Notice very close to falling off actually. He's going to move away, regroup with the team, and the team have decided, you know what, let's bully people in bathroom, and SMWX finds Manny, and Marcus got killed by El Goats, and Notice found the kill onto Skyfaller. That means Jamal and Pazner are the only 2 remaining, and whilst they are both great individually, how can they do against a 2v4 as a player is down? It's a 1v4 as all that's left is the pulse, as El Goats gets a kill with the bearing, and it's all down to the pulse. Marcus left early. Skyfaller left early. They knew Pasner may not have been able to do it, and Apollo have won 2-0, 7-3, 7-5. Great showing there from the Apollo boys. They face Venga boys in their finals matchup, and we will have an interview with Jay Got Booted or Jason. More the only one staying in right there. Fair play to Dadless. They definitely picked things off. However, they couldn't really build on that momentum they gained because of the rehost. As I said, we have an interview with Jay Got Booted. Let me just invite him to the party. We'll see if he joins. We can get our interview underway. The lower bracket final will probably be either this weekend or sometimes next week. The grand finals will be either next weekend or the weekend after. As we now have our post-match interview with the winner, if Jason is there for it. Yes, Sharks, there is a delay. So I'm responding to your question. You're not hearing it for like 20 seconds. Hello, Jason. Congratulations on your win. Interesting half after the first map. Bit of a long wait. So obviously we know you've played Dadless. You lost 2-1 against them. And a lot of people were quite surprised in the fashion of the map you lost being Clubhouse, being 7-1. So how did you prepare differently for this one?
Well, obviously we knew last time that we made a mistake not banning Monty, knowing that now that it's one of their strongest ops and that's all they can play really to win rounds. We just banned it straight out, right? Banned it straight out, and as you can clearly see, it worked in our favour.
Yeah. Of course, you've made changes. You've no longer got Liqua. You've got SMWDX on the team. How is she fit in with the Apollo team?
To be fair, she's hit the ground running, mate. As you can see, she's fragging well and she's doing an amazing job on flex. Obviously, with Liqua, he is still in Apollo, but he came to me and said, he's finding Siege boring, so it's understandable. And if you haven't got the passion for the game, then you're not going to be playing well. But Jess is just, she's doing amazing.
Yeah. So, you play Venga Boys next. Obviously, they lost to JPC. So, are you concerned, or do you think that they're going to be an easy win?
I was surprised when they lost to JPC, which makes me feel like we've overestimated how good they actually are. But obviously, knowing Davin and the rest of the Venga team, they're still a very strong team. But I think it'll be a lot. I feel like we could take it 2-0, instead of like being 2-1 or like very close. I think we could take it out 2-0 straight.
Yeah. Obviously, the thing with JPC is because their groups, the way they won it in 7-0, 7-1 fashion, they don't have a lot of usable VODs. So do you think that has played a part in why they've been a trickier opponent for some of the top teams?
Definitely. If you look at the top teams, especially like myself, Davin, I know Urban do it as well. They all look at the VODs, look at the strats, counter strat, whatnot. If you're playing against a team like JPC who have very few VODs, you don't know how they're going to play. And if they're just going to bring out random strats that they might be simple, but they're going to work because you just don't know how to play against them.
Yeah. So the Venga boys have, I believe, 3 previously IG players. So how much would it mean, much more would it mean to win that game? Because obviously you lost 3-1 in the finals, and it's a chance at redemption, so to speak.
Obviously, there's no like bad feelings between any of the Apollo Venga. It would be amazing to beat Davin finally, bro. Like it. Davin and Dadless are just the two teams that I've just never been able to beat, bro. And it would be amazing to finally beat them with this new lineup.
Yeah. Well, last thing to say, of course, congratulations on your win. Do you have anything to say to the people in chat that have supported you?
Well, first of all, thank you for following Apollo. Shout out to the esports Twitter page on the. So go follow that. But other than that, though.
Okay, great. Well, congratulations on your win. I wish you the best of luck in the next potentially 2 games you have, and I'm sure we'll speak to each other soon in another winners cast afterwards.
Hopefully, bro. Hopefully. Well, thank you for casting. Catch you in a bit.
Catch ya. So, thank you all for watching. That was the Apollo Dadless game. Of course, 2-0 victory for Apollo. Well played, both teams. I want to thank both teams, I should say, for allowing me to cast. I want to thank you all for hanging around, given that it was a long wait in between games. So, I appreciate you all hanging around. We were live for 160 minutes, so that gives you an idea of how long that break was in between maps. But overall, I want to thank everybody for watching. Make sure you're following to stay up to date with all your TEG games. Of course, we see Apollo versus Venga in this near future, and the winner of that will play JPC in a best of 5 finals casted by 2 and either myself or Red, most likely. So once again, thank you all for watching. I'll catch you all soon. Bye bye.